afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Going Uptown, right here on BNN TV. And this is your host, Uptown Browne. And I am very excited for today's episode because I have two very good friends of mine. My first guest is a man that wears many hats in the entertainment industry. And believe me, he does have some fancy hats. Mr. Leon Beal is not only a singer, but he's a songwriter, a producer, and he's an international star. And most of all, he's a very good man. My second guest is Linda A. She is the former campaign manager of Suffolk County District Attorney Michael Maloney. And she will be sharing her testimony with us this afternoon, as well as talking about her new The Road to Reform with Linda A. But now I'm here with Leon. Leon, welcome to Going Uptown with Uptown Browne.
Thank you for having me, my brother.
I am so happy to see you, man.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. So, Leon, can you tell my audience, where you came from? Let's start from the beginning.
I was born in a little two-stoplight town called Jasper, Florida.
Yes.
It's like 32 miles from Valdosta, Georgia. So we were back and forth there, 60 miles from Tallahassee. And I learned how to do a lot of different things there. Picking cotton and tobacco was one of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I was living with my grandparents, my paternal and maternal grandparents. As you know, back then, folks were coming up and on better jobs and so forth. And then I came to Boston to stay with my mother and father. So I grew up in Roxbury, Dorchester area for the most part. Yeah.
And when did you start singing?
Let's see. In junior high school, I had a teacher who thought I was the dumbest thing going. She told me I'd never do anything. Mm-hmm. So I took the test to go to Boston Tech. I was one of 3 people that passed it at that point. Okay. I spent 2 years there doing nothing but fighting. Mm-hmm. Finally, I transferred to Jamaica Plain. I got to Jamaica Plain, and I looked around, and I wasn't going to be the start of basketball team, football, or baseball, but there was a glee club that had 35 women and no men.
Wow.
That was my calling.
Okay.
That's what's saying.
Wow, and how old was you at that time?
I was 16, 17.
Okay, so when you first started singing, was your family very supportive of you?
Oh, yeah. They've always been very supportive of me, no matter what it was I was trying to do, yeah.
And have any singers in your family as well?
Yeah, got a few. And my son is an amazing writer and performer as well.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to working with him again.
That's what's up. Now, what was some of the fondest moments that you have singing?
I traveled with the Ronald Ingram Concert Choir for like 8 years, okay? Wow. We were invited, James Cleveland came to Boston to recruit us to become part of the original gospel music workshop. So getting to travel and meet the people and see the things that I saw, it was a great experience for me. You know, like performing in Cobo Arena and the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, you know, Kiel Auditorium, St. Louis, you know, and we were on stages with people like Shirley Caesar and Edwin Hawkins, and I mean, that was a big, you know what I'm saying, 17, 18 years old, man. I'm like, yo.
At such a young age.
Yes, sir. I loved it.
Some of your biggest influence that helped you when you started to sing professionally?
That was an accident. I got kicked out of the choir.
Whoa. Now we have to hear that story.
Well, you know, there's power struggles within every organization, and I was getting a little bit too close to the throne. Yeah. So, but I had brought a band on board to work with the choir because the gentleman I was working with, he was an amazing musician and very talented, but he had no formal training. So I had the band that I was working with, they were all students at Berkeley. So I brought them in, and he learned from them as well, you know what I'm saying, expanded his knowledge. And so once I got kicked out of the choir, naturally, I wound up with the band. Okay, so I had a 9-piece band that started clubs and performing around the area.
And during that time, I mean, my Uncle Roger used to tell me stories on how from Mattapan all the way downtown.
All the way downtown.
There was always spots all around.
Yes, sir, buddy. I mean, you could actually make a living going from club to club. And they paid as well back then. In fact, they paid better because the dollar went further. You know what I'm saying? Now they're basically paying you the same thing, and a dollar is not a dollar anymore. Right. You know? So yeah, we had a ball, man. That's when Maurice Starr, who was Maurice Johnson when I met him, There were quite a few groups. The Energetics, the Ambitions, Hawkeye, they were all killing it, So a lot of Margot Thunder, There were a lot of great talent came through the city, man.
That's some history.
Oh, yeah.
Boston was live back then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We try to get it live again.
I would love to see it, but we got to learn how to support each other. That's the biggest thing we got going on now. People don't like supporting each other.
I know.
They try to make it a competition. There's no competition. Just be the best you can be. That's all you got to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Brother Haywood would say, we have 5 fingers and we got to be united like a fist, and then we have to come through, and then when we're united like that fist, more things and opportunities open for us.
I would love to see it. And I look back on, growing up in the 60s and 70s, we were a community where we worked with each other, we helped each other and supported each other and respected each other. It's like it seems people just want to find any and everything to bring you down rather than build you up. So
that's true.
Hopefully we can get back to what they call the old landmark,
Old landmark. And you know what? We need brothers like yourself. We have to put our faith in the Lord. We have to keep on praying and have to go out there and just try to make those connections.
As I said, just trying to be the best me that I can be. And I'm going to make mistakes along the way, but the one thing that you can always believe is I will never do anything to hurt anybody intentionally, okay? Don't ask me anything if you don't want to know the truth about it, okay? You might not like the answer you get, but I will tell you the truth. And whether I like you or I don't like you is not the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's whether we can move forward on a positive note,
That's right. Going back to your earlier days, now when you guys were performing with your band that you was with, now was you making your own music or was you performing songs that was popular during that day?
Back then, we were allowed to do it, but there wasn't a lot of it because studio was totally different back then. You know what I'm saying?
How was it different?
Like now, everything is digital. You can go in, you don't have to be able to sing, and you can go in and put, and create something that people will think is great. You get out in front of an audience, then it's a whole nother story. Right. And then when we went into the studio, we went in there knowing what we were going to do because everything was recorded at the same time. It wasn't record this one, then record that one, you know what I'm saying? Everything had to be done at the same time. So you could not go in there practicing.
Right.
And it cost a little bit more, and it was not as easy to get things done.
Yeah.
So now everybody and their mama got a studio, or a computer that they call a studio. So.
Yeah, have their homemade stuff. They do stuff at home.
Oh, yeah.
And, come up with their own music and say, oh, I got my soundtrack now.
Yeah, unfortunately, folks got to the point where everybody thought they were Barry Gordy, you know what I'm saying? And nobody wanted to be Smokey. Everybody wanted to be Barry Gordy, so, But I'm grateful because my experience led me down a lot of different roads, you know what I'm saying? The journey's been very interesting. And working with people who had material, who were actually, that's what they did. They wrote, but they weren't doing anything with it. And said, well, okay, well, let me take this song and do it. They want to get paid up front, then they want this and they want that. And I'm like, I think I can sit down and do this myself. That's what got me to start writing my own material. Okay, not being able to, an agreement with a couple of folks along the way. And it's like, wait a minute, I can do this.
Right.
So I'm grateful.
And what was the first song that you ever wrote?
First song I ever wrote was a song called He's the One.
He's the One.
Yeah, I had gotten out of recovery. And I had gotten down on my knees and I prayed, man, you know what I'm saying? Because I was a drug addict for 25 years. And along the way, I had stopped several different times, you know what I'm saying? I can do this, and I always wound up. So I got down on my knees and I prayed about that, you know what I'm saying? And then I picked a clean date, which was April 1st, because I was tired of being a fool, okay? And I went through the whole program thing, and I came out, and that was like 28 years, okay? So I've been clean ever since. So He's the One was inspired. That was inspiration for that one.
And is that on any of your soundtracks?
That's on the one recording that I did with my my gospel group, Joyful. Okay. It's a cassette. That's how long ago that was.
Wow.
Okay.
Cassette.
Yeah, but I put it on CD, baby, for folks who might want to get it. You know. Yeah. Ron Davis, who was one of the guys that worked with me back then. Ronnie and I are still close. He's not, but Ronnie said when I was in the studio recording that song, he saw my feet come up off the floor. You know? I'm like, Ron, I don't want to hear it. But like as I said, I was inspired to write that song. And from that point on, it was just a matter of connecting with the right people, the right situation. And James McDaniel helped me. He was my bass player. You know, he used to come by my house on a regular and pick up lyrics and make them songs. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm grateful, man. I've been blessed in a number of ways.
And how many albums do you have out right now?
I have 3 CDs.
3 CDs?
Yes, sir.
And what are the names?
The first one is Romantic Groove. That was released in 2006. And then I did Keep On Pushing in 2010. And last year, Reflections of a Man. Yeah, and I've got another CD worth of material in waiting, you know. So.
And how many songs have you written altogether?
Oh God, I can't say. I don't know, but I'm nowhere close to Smokey and that crew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe 50. Yeah, maybe 50, 60 songs, something like that.
And what was your most favorite song that you have written?
A song that I gave to Athene Wilson. We Were Meant to Be.
We Were Meant to Be.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was one of those songs where I liked the song, but I think somebody else can do it better. And she wanted to do a CD, so she allowed to submit material. She wound up doing 7 songs that I wrote. So that was an honor.
And you know what? Talking about artists supporting one another, I know you and Athene Wilson do a lot of work together in the community.
That's my buddy. I mean, it's like we met at the House of Blues because my group we were regular theirs, and she was one of the hosts there, and she was always encouraging me to do more. You know what I'm saying? To do more, and then when she get into a situation, she'd always reach out and pull me in. And so we've been working together now for 20-something years.
27 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And who else do you collaborate with?
Anybody who is willing. I'm working with a young lady now called Angelina Hightower. Darlene Wynn, that's my sister. She's been the backbone of everything that I've done in the studio. She always keep my harmonies tight. Simply Whitney, Michelle Mungo. I mean, I work with any and everybody, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we have a small community of folks that are true to the music. There are a lot of folks that enter this for all reasons as far as I'm concerned. People let their egos get in the way, you know what I'm saying? They start making money the priority rather than music, you know what I'm saying? For me, being able to do music is a blessing. It is my mental health time, it's my therapy, and it's joy. I don't care what situation I'm in, I can always find a song that'll help me and encourage me and strengthen me to get through it. There's always music in the head, you know what I'm saying? So.
And I saw several of you guys' performances together, and when y'all get together, really do have a good time, and it really shows. I mean, it's just like the love for the music that y'all express up on the stage, and then that resonates into the audience, because the audience feel good too.
Oh yeah, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Man. That's really what it's about. For me, music is sharing, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, we inspire each other, and I don't think that there's any place you can go in the world where music is not utilized for a positive purpose. I went to Brazil. The first time I went, I was petrified because I don't speak Portuguese. But there was a brother who had been there for 25 years, and he was like a local hero. Okay, we started talking. We got to be real friendly. So he did a sound check, and he called me on stage with him. That was basically giving me the stamp of approval.
Right.
Okay, so then when it came my perform, first song I did was Stand By Me. When they started playing it, the audience started singing it in English.
Wow.
I'm home. You know what I'm saying? From that point on, I was home, you know what I'm saying? So I've been back, I've been twice now. A friend of mine, Sax Gordon, he opened that door for me, and then he took me to Spain with him to do a concert there. He's also taken me to Italy with him, you know what I'm saying? So I'm blessed, man. I'm truly blessed.
During one of our conversations before, you know, you said your CDs sell high up in there. They're up there on the rankings.
Yes, I do better overseas than I do here. And it's just like here in Boston even, you know, regardless of who I may have worked with or who I helped or who I know, Boston is a funny place. You know, it really is. Like I said, we tend not to support each other the way that we should, whether it's a financial situation, an ego situation, or just stupidity, I don't know. But like you say, until we come together, I don't care what your plan is, we all need support. We all need support, no matter what, you know.
Now, besides Brazil and Spain, what other places have you traveled to perform?
Just around the country, all over the United States. I mean, but right now, I retired from my job. Like I was working for the city for like 26 years, so I could never really get on the road. because they always want you to stay a week, 2, 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? You got to do a tour so that they can get their money back, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't able to do that. So I retired 3 years ago, and things are starting to happen now. I've done a lot of collaborating with people like in Italy, England, you know what I'm saying? I've written a few songs for folks over there. So, you know, like I said, I'm things are happening. You know, everybody measures success in a different way, you know what I'm saying? I'd love to be able to go to the bank and have all kinds of millions, but but I'm comfortable. My health is good, which is number one, and I'm meeting people that appreciate music and who I appreciate, and I'm glad to meet. So my journey, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Well, we're going to see how much fun you have in Brazil.
Yeah.
You know, a little break right quick. We're going to see Leon in Brazil. This is going to be hot.
Yeah.
Mother, mother, there are too many of you crying. My brother, there are too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer. Only love can conquer. Hey, you know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. We got picket lines, picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Show me so that you can see what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. I wanna know, no. Just because our hair ain't long. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. We got picket lines, we got picket signs. Don't punish me, not with brutality. Come on and talk to me so that you can see. What's going on? What's going on? I wanna know, no, right now. Woo! What's happening, my brother? My sisters.
That was Leon Beal, What's Going On in Brazil. Wow. Now, we was talking too earlier, and you said you were about to make another trip out there, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just waiting on a date for they want me to come back, and I'm due to go to Italy in July, and I just got an inquiry about going to Switzerland in June. So I'm, trying to get there.
Trying to get there.
Yeah, But I'm loving the trip. Like I said, I'm loving the journey, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Rather than worrying about the final destination, I'm just going to enjoy the journey. Yeah.
And you got something coming up pretty soon.
Yes, as a matter of fact, next January 19th, I'll be at the Regent Theater doing a Motown tribute. I got myself, Motown Magic is a group. They're going to do the Four Tops and the Temptation stuff. I got Debbie Watson Preems with Angelina Hightower, Darlene Wynn, and Carolyn Brown. The band is exceptional. It's going to be a great show. And then in March, we're doing an Aretha Franklin tribute, which will feature a theme, Angelina and as the female vocalist. So just trying to do some positive things in the area, provide some quality entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So.
And speaking about positive things in the area, you do something too at the Biff's Lounge
on
Fridays.
Yes, 3 Fridays I've been booking talent down at Biff's. As a matter of fact, tonight I have a gentleman by the name of Ben Hillman. Ben's bad boy, keyboard player. He's got a couple of CDs out as well. But he's going to be there tonight. Then next week, Old Delica, which is Brent Mo Bounce as well. Then Angelina Hightower, Tony Funches. Three Fridays out of the month, I'm down there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll come through, and I'll be there March 21st, because that's the last date that I have booked. So I'll do March 21st. So March 25th is my birthday. Me and Aretha, you know what I'm saying? That was always my claim to fame. Aretha was born on March 25th.
March 25th,
yeah.
same bill.
Yeah, there you go. That
Another legend in the making.
Well, I can only hope.
You are. Because I love your singing, I love your entertaining, and you do put on a show.
Listen, I work with folks like James Brown, Wilson Pickett, Lloyd Price, Sam. Come on, man. Those are folks that actually went out on the road and they made it happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they had what now. They actually had to get on buses and drive cars and go from place to place. Barnstorming, I think is what they call it. They get into a town to find a club or location, put on a show. So they had to work to get that money. So, they passed. We have to maintain a tradition.
And if you want your audience to remember one thing about yourself in your career, what would it be?
I love and appreciate each and every one of them. And again, I've been blessed, man. You know what I'm saying? Based on my lifestyle, I could have been dead. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, I've learned, I've grown, and all I'm trying to do now is give back, put myself in a situation and help somebody else, okay? Try and be an example for somebody else. Because it's not about me, it's about the music, okay? And we have to always remember that no matter what we say, what we tell people, people always look at you. Okay, the life we live is more important than the words that come out of our mouths sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So I try to live what I talk about, Let your word be your word.
Let your word be your word. And
that's all maintain your integrity, okay?
Because all we got is our word.
That's it.
I can't wait, a dream of mine would be for you to have your show up at the Strand Theater, because I have a feeling that you could pack your house up.
Listen, I'm working on a grant, and if I get that grant, I'm going to put on at least 3 different shows, and the Strand would be one of the locations that I would definitely go to.
Well, thank you.
The hardest part around here is, man, venues cost a lot of money.
It does.
And so you got to have somebody backing you in order to actually do the things you want to do.
Yes, sir. Well, Leon, I'm going to keep you in my prayers, and I'm going to definitely come out there and support your shows, man, because all we have to do is support one another so we can rise together.
And I appreciate
and I love you,
and all that you do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.